Hey guys, how's it going? What is going on? In this episode, I want to share with you a term that is known as sprint planning. Now, this is normally used by big companies like big tech companies like Google and Facebook and all these big monsters, right? And by normal companies as well, so like normal sized companies as well, like small to medium sized businesses, and so not just the big dogs, right? And the reason why I wanted to make this episode for you was that when it comes to digital marketing and running a digital marketing business with all the chaos of like everyday life, if you've got kids, if you're working full time, if you've got things to do, how can you fit in digital marketing, right? How do you fit it in? So this is more of a professional agile term. It's called like a management sort of phrase as it is, right? And how do you use that in your normal day-to-day life, especially with digital marketing and setting up your digital marketing business, right? So I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by sprints, right? And by the end of it, you'll see the value of it because it's super cool, right? And I use them every single week in a variety of things, and I'll show you what they are. It's just life-changing if you don't already do something like this, right? So the first thing is, when it comes to sprint planning, we have what we call a backlog, right? So a backlog, the way that I use it in my sort of like day-to-day life with my digital marketing project is that, say if I'm working on an online e-commerce shop, like a Shopify store, right? What I will do is I will have a backlog of all the tasks that I need for that item to go live, right? So literally the backlog is items just listed, like the numbered. So you can use software like Jira, Asana, and things like that will give you that facility of being able to create backlogs, right? And the whole point is, this is all about identifying everything that needs to be done. So you literally list all these in that software, and these literally, they're just stored tasks, right, under a thing called like tickets. So one thing could be, I'll give you an example of one item in the backlog. That could be to set up Shopify store on new monthly payment plan and set up with the domain name, right? So that could be, imagine you've already thought of what your store's going to be called. So it could be, I don't know, you could be selling microphone guards or something. So it could be micguards.com if there is something like that, right? And then, the task involved there is to go to Shopify, create a Shopify store and link that domain to it, right? So that would be one task in your backlog. Then the other one might be set up a theme with mic guards. That's another one. Then the third one might be upload the 15 products that we've got. That's another task, right? And basically this is all small steps for you to achieve your overall goal. So if your overall goal is to, in this case, an e-commerce shop called Mike Guards within 2 weeks, but you've only got a limited time, and so we're going to break it down. So you would put in the backlog as much as you can and break it down into tasks that are required in order for you to get that outcome eventually, right? And then sprints are the thing where you pull in items from the backlog, right? And it's amazing because once you've got that list in your backlog and you've got a ticket for each of these items, so using that software like Jira or Asana, like I said, you can create tickets and you can size up each of these items, so you can estimate it, right? So you can estimate it using any kind of measuring system that you want. So you could do Fibonacci, you could do t-shirt sizing. So you could give it a 3, a 1, a 3, a 5, up to 13, I believe it is in Fibonacci. Then t-shirt sizing is obviously small, medium and large as the default, but if you want to go further you could do extra small, small, medium, large and extra large, for example, right? And whatever it is, you would put one of them scores against each one. Why? So that way, when you look at the tasks, you know exactly how much effort you have, right? So then what you do when it comes to sprint planning, at the start of every week, so on a Monday, what I do is I have my calendar, right? So on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I try not to do weekend stuff anymore if I can help it, because obviously you need that time to relax and stuff, right? But it's never the case, right? You always end up doing something around work. So when it comes to doing sprint planning, what you would do is you look at the time that you have available on each of these days. So let's say we're going to go with a set grid. So we could say that we've got 1 hour in the morning, so that's there, and then we have 2 hours in the evening. Now if you've got that sort of time, that is super awesome. That's loads of time, right? Or you could do 1 hour in the morning or 1 hour in the evening, right? But this way, you know, if you're busy on Wednesday morning, then obviously you can't do anything. But it's a good way to set the week on sprint planning. So normally what I do is I get a coffee on a Monday morning. I actually do this on a Sunday night, because then when you wake up on Monday morning, you know exactly what you're doing, and your digital marketing business, really everything's already planned out, so you don't need to worry about it, and you're just literally showing up and doing the tasks that you've set out, right? And by the end of the week, the outcome is to obviously have everything done in the sprint planning section, right? And if you don't get everything done, that's fine, because that's what the third step is going to be about, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But sprint planning is all about taking an item. So we'll say, this is how I normally do it. I normally size it, so it's 2 hours or 1 hour, and usually most of my tasks fit into that. And if it's anything less, I'll do 4 or 5 or 6 smaller items in 1 hour or 2 hours, right? And what I'll do is I'll say, okay, so and you prioritize the backlog by the most important task that needs to get done, right? So let's say this is our prioritized list. So on Monday morning, I will do this one. On Tuesday evening, I will do this one. On Wednesday evening, I will do this one. And I'm busy on Friday. And then on Thursday evening, I will do this one, right? And if I get time, I might do number 5. And what that means is you've scheduled time in your calendar, right? So you've found the time that you've got, and then you've broken all your tasks down, and now you fit them into your calendar, right? And the whole purpose of a sprint is that it's a week long, and you've already, in the planning session, this is what you do. Then obviously on Monday, you do the tasks that are required, and you really stay focused and get them items done as best as you can and completed, right? So make sure you size them up for what's relevant for you. And what you'll find is you'll get, I think on track, I get about 80-85% of my stuff done, which is, I say it's fairly good, but it just depends on how focused I am in terms of how urgent that project is, right? And if for some reason, you know, let's say let's say the Thursday evening one was a write-off, I didn't complete that, and let's say this evening one was a write-off, and so you're trying to find patterns for things that don't work, then in the retrospective on a Friday, so at the end of the week, you can literally make a list of all the things that went good, bad, and that could be improved, right? So good, bad, and improve. And so what that means is anything that didn't go well, you've created this retrospective that when it comes to planning on the Sunday night, you've already got an idea of the things that didn't work the week before, and you try and break down, and so that way it makes your life easier, because you're constantly identifying things that are working and things that don't. So it's like this forever ending. It's a ever green, it's a process, right, which is constantly changing and improving, right? So what you do, obviously you list, and in some retros you might not get anything, and usually what you want is this was good, and you want some things that were bad as well. So this was bad, and then what could be improved? That was bad, so that could be improved. Or what, even if it's good, how can it be even better? So, and that, again, have that over a cup of coffee or, but give yourself some time. And I find, realistically, to get a digital marketing project in a really, really easy process, you can spend, obviously, your initial work is in your backlog, so that can take as long as it needs. Then when it comes to planning, I find planning shouldn't really take more than 10-15 minutes of focused effort, because you've already got a list, and then you're just finding slots in the calendar, and then your retrospective again. It doesn't need to take more than about 10-15 minutes at the end of the week, and it's all about having these short sprints that are a week long, and then have the weekend to relax. Now, what I find is things end up going into the weekend sometimes if I'm doing work on a particular project, and then so I'll time box it. I'll say on this weekend I'm going to spend 2 hours, and if it gets done, it gets done. If not, it goes into the next sprint, right? And you can label your sprints, so you could do sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, and it's amazing because when you look back after, say, sprint 10 or 12, and you look back, you can see everything that you've covered, and it's unbelievable seeing things like that being made up. And yeah, it's a really good way to account for your time as well. So I hope this helps, and when it comes to you running a digital marketing business, this will help you find the time, to really get your business up and running. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and for the time being, guys, take care.